Hello? Is this um I think my internet is working fine. Dhruv, can you hear me? Akash, is there a problem with your internet? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Career Khoj podcast. This is essentially a show where we talk to a bunch of people about their academic journeys and how it has contributed to their career and what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, and uncover some basic facts and information and statistics about their course. Today, we are talking to Akash Bhalerao, who is a very good friend of mine. And today, when I was talking him on LinkedIn, I found out a lot more about his degree than I knew before this conversation. And I'm just going to read that out because there are so many big words. I don't think I could have said it without reading it out. So Akash did his bachelor's in social entrepreneurship and environment restoration from University of Iowa. Then he went to Sweden to do strategic leadership towards sustainability, a master's in that. And right now he's working in a bunch of organizations. I know for a fact he's working in the Enterprise Fellowship Program as a team member. It's a startup organization in Pune. He's also working with Ashoka as a globalizer community manager. And he's also started a bunch of organizations and non-for-profits, etc., etc.
This is a student administered program. Our aim is to offer information from other students who have recently graduated. None of this information is to be taken as advice. Nobody in this video or in the team is a guidance or career counselor, nor are we experts in the fields which we have chosen. We do not intend to look down on any career or academic path and hope these stories will be taken in the spirit in which they were said. Our experiences are personal and cannot be universally applied. We hope this video is helpful to whoever watches it and it equips you with some relevant insights. Enjoy.
If you had to explain your degree in one line, even though you designed your own degree, what would you describe it? What exactly does it mean to be a social entrepreneur? What exactly do you study in environmental restoration?
I think the theme of it would just be what does a better world look like, and engage with and understand where people are coming from to create the change I can.
Awesome.
So that's what it helped me do. It really it was just an exploration. I also actually I didn't have a formula, right? Like, okay, I'm taking classes from law, engineering, business, psychology, sociology, and this is what's next. I didn't know that, but it was really just an attempt to understand the complex systems of the world and see how you can engage people through it and make the most meaningful difference.
So what I hear from your story is that you went to America and then you decided to design your own degree. That was obviously not a plan you had back in 12th standard or back in 11th standard, because
No.
I don't think in our country we have that opportunity as yet. The freedom to design your own degree. The closest we come to it is liberal arts, where you get to pick and choose a little bit. But there is nothing close. Designing your own degree or going as an undecided major and all is still quite a foreign concept to us.
Yeah.
So back when you were in 12th standard, what prep did you do firstly to go abroad, apart from including your SATs, building your portfolio, etc., etc.? And what preconceptions, or what did you have in your mind before you went abroad?
Well, before I went abroad, I think other than the basic SAT prep and admissions applications, I obviously was also looking at colleges here, and my father was like, "Oh, maybe check out engineering," and didn't really feel for any of those. But I do remember that for me again, it was just about learning. I knew that going into engineering, I was really not interested in learning that, and I wasn't interested in becoming an engineer. I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do in the realm of sustainability or change making, or whatever I do now. But I knew that environmental science was a general direction, and my mother is a scientist, so she was like, "Oh, you should go and do research," and so that was one of the thoughts. Another thought was, I think I just wanted to learn more about the world and how we interact with it, and I obviously. 5 years before I went abroad, I was volunteering in different things around the city. I was also reading a lot online about what's happening with environmental issues, what's happening with social issues, how they connect. For the first time, I found like I had something that I cared about and that I would read about. Like, like all my friends, like people were interested in talking about cars and, uh, a lot of cool things. But
I'm going to ask you a couple of logistical questions now
yeah,
about your degree. And I'm going to ask a bunch and you can choose how to answer them. Firstly, can you explain to somebody how the structure of your degree was? So, I mean, in terms of credits, in terms of how long it was, in terms, could you finish it earlier if you
yeah,
finished up your credits times? Because that is something I know happens a little bit abroad.
yeah.
Um, how much freedom did you have to choose subjects? What subjects did you end up choosing, etc., etc.?
Uh-huh. Well, I finished my education in 4 years. If I wanted to, I could have figured out a way to do it in three, like the degree in three. But I also had three certificate programs that I had taken through the university. I think one in entrepreneurial management, one in non-profit management, and one in sustainability. So, like I had more courses, and also this degree, like I think the minimum requirements were like, I don't know how to put credit system car numbers here, but I took many more classes than the minimum requirements just because I was there either way. But you could have finished it 3 years.
What subjects exactly did
Uh,
you take?
okay, so since I had the autonomy to choose and design what subjects I want, I basically researched thousands of courses that were at the university. But overall, I took classes from like the engineering department. I took classes from business, like marketing, management, entrepreneurship. I took classes in psychology, sociology, law, um, chemistry, biology, geology, geography. Nothing in computers because I was not into it. Then obviously environmental science, ecology. Then also I took a couple communication studies classes. Basically, I was just trying to see what can help me be better at understanding these issues. And if I found anything, I did it. So I also I think took kickboxing and like relaxation techniques and physical, because it also is about being a whole person, right? So I had my purpose there was to get a holistic education and to be able to understand issues from different dimensions.
I'm going to ask you something that I don't know might seem a little offensive to some environment restoration studies, because I'm going to umbrella your entire education into sustainability and and basically caring for the environment, and as you said, making the world a better place in by connecting social issues and environmental issues, etc., etc. And would I be right in assuming a lot of your friends and classmates were moving towards the same goal?
No,
Oh, no?
hardly
Okay.
anyone. Like there were people from some. So like when I took an ecology class, I had people who were going to be like wanted to go into conservation and wanted to go
Mm.
into like doing like studying animals and plants and ecosystems. When I was in my law class, which was actually then in the afternoon, I would be in a business class where people are talking about how sustainability is important for business and what they need to do to maintain their bottom line over a long time. And in the evening, I would be in a law class where, again, like there were law students who cared about the environment, but it was a completely utilitarian approach and just trying to understand uh, how. Um, but these are the courses that like had people. These were still the environmental and social related courses, right?
Mm.
I also took like other courses where like I took like some marketing courses and like they were just marketing students and
Yeah.
it like it wasn't necessary that they would care about the. I wouldn't say they did not care about the world, but the
Yeah.
mindset there was just look at how you can sell
Correct.
better and how you can understand your customer. So I
Correct.
had a lot of people with a lot of diverse interests as my classmates, which was really useful, I would say. It was also really nice once or twice when actually I had took a few graduate level courses where there were graduate students who were focused in. So that was really cool too.
Yeah.
So I got to experience education with people who cared about similar things as I did, and also people who cared about other things. And I had to start those conversations with them. So it was very interesting.
When we look at studying about the environment or doing anything good for that matter, it is unfortunate that it's seen as something like an extracurricular. So as somebody who made the decision to make social entrepreneurship and sustainability their mainstream career, what are the options that are available in terms of career, in terms of jobs, in terms of, and also in terms of skills that you gain that you can apply in every part of your life?
Yes, like many people, like, when I would, especially in the business school, when I would say I care about environmental and social issues, like my friends would from the business school would just be like, oh, here's our tree hugger. And I mean, that's true. I love hugging trees. So I don't blame them for that. But I would also say that the field is way beyond that. I think the system, the world requires people in all kinds of spheres. We need people who care about sustainability in governments. We need people who care about sustainability in businesses. We need people who care about sustainability in like schools. We need people who care about sustainability as activists too, because there are different roles to be studied. So of course there is environmental sciences, which includes like if you can split that into four different categories. I think you can split it into geosciences, biosciences, hydrosciences, and I think chemistry related sciences. Then you also have ecology. Then you have geography. You also can study environmental law. You can study environmental planning and policy. You can study to be a science teacher. You can actually, now there are a lot of courses of, like, there are a lot of green MBA programs coming up. Uh, a lot of business schools are also adopting sustainability as a core subject. In fact, like our university just added a sustainability degree, but
Wow.
this was after I designed my degree, so I didn't really get to take it. But so there are a lot of programs, and there is a lot of scope and jobs for these programs, right from being someone who's helping keep things in check. Like if you're a part of the government, you're trying to make sure that companies and organizations are complying, and their projects will not have a bigger environmental damage or social damage.
Yeah.
Two, there are jobs like jobs in NGOs with people who are working with the communities on the grassroots. And I think we may be more familiar with people who do this, but there are a lot of opportunities coming up, and especially in the corporate sector, the number of green jobs, I think they're also going up. And if anyone's interested in applying for jobs around sustainability, please reach out to me. I just went through a very elaborate job search, and I have a list of organizations I can share with you.
So I'm sure people will reach out to you. We'll also put some of your contact details, including your LinkedIn and everything, in our description. But just before that, can we ask a little bit more about your work with Ashoka, what Ashoka is doing and your role in it, and how your degree, sorry, I'm asking too many questions in one go, but how your degree contributed towards your work, the work that you're doing right now?
Well, Ashoka is the largest network of social entrepreneurs, or it has, I think, a network of 3,500 social entrepreneurs around the world that Ashoka works with. And I work with a program within Ashoka called the Ashoka Globalizer. It is an accelerator program for advanced social entrepreneurs to scale their impact. Um, and when I say social entrepreneurs, I'm talking about uh, entrepreneurs or enterprising people trying to solve a social or environmental issue. Um, and yeah, like how my education prepared me for it. Like uh, I think I really got to understand this realm of social entrepreneurship through my education. I was formally also introduced. I was informally introduced to it beforehand, but it was really cool to have different social entrepreneurs come and talk in class, or like read about them as a part of part of my classes, or reach out to them and like try and talk to them and I don't know how many CEOs and company people I had called when I was in college to just understand what they're doing, understand their business model. So I would say like not just classes, but activities I did along with classes is what helped me like prepare for this and be introduced to these concepts.
How to apply principles of sustainability in businesses, in development, even in terms of infrastructure, in any sort of growth and development that any country inevitably has to go through.
Wow, that's a big question, and we can do like a 5 month session on that. But I think I think frameworks and definitions aside, the biggest thing is being willing to work with people and yeah, being willing to understand. And I think my education and my projects really helped me do that because uh, if someone is coming towards sustainability from a utilitarian point of view, that is the point of view they have. So we can't say that that is fundamentally right or wrong. It is how do you take your point of view and their point of view and synergize and see how you can like sorry, not synergize, you communicate and see how you can best synergize it. I think I think it's really just about that, our communication and willingness to work together.
Mm, mm.
That I think that can help reduce that isolation and um, yeah, promote more collaboration.
Do you think businesses now have I do you think now as a degree program with every passing day, sustainability and environmental restoration is becoming more of an in demand program, simply because companies cannot afford to ignore that anymore? And do you think that there is a role that people who do such a degree, who do such an academic program, do you think there is a role they can play within these super large corporations and build a career in those corporations to sort of give them advice or sort of in some way manage or introduce them to concepts of sustainability? Is there an
Yeah,
opening for that, or is it something that still needs a couple of years to form?
I think that's been forming for the last few years, I would say, and I think it's not a one and done thing, right? I think these things need time to emerge. In terms of what I see, I'm going to refer you to Bob Willard's 5 stages of sustainability. So organizations are at 5 different stages of sustainability. Like the first stage is the pre-compliance stage, where there are companies around the world that are not even complying with the laws, for example. Then there is the compliance stage, that companies that are complying with the laws, but they're just like, okay, we are good on the legal front, we don't need to worry. Then there are companies who are complying with the laws, but they're also realizing that, oh, they can save money by investing in sustainable technology. Something, like these are the low hanging fruits, like the light bulbs and
Mm.
the smart water faucets and things like that.
Correct,
So
correct,
companies that are that are trying to be sustainable to save up on those costs.
correct.
Then there are companies that are working on integrating sustainability into their strategies. I think there are big corporations that have really started to move towards improving their carbon footprint, and just I don't even want to say carbon footprint, but companies are being held more accountable when it comes to social fronts, when it comes to environmental fronts, health fronts, and I think many big players have already started moving in that direction
Mm.
and are really trying to see how to get their research and development teams also to play into this game, and it's not just something that they're going to worry about once their product is created and then there's a mess or whatever. It is something that they're thinking of forefront while designing their products. I think, and if you go to look now, most major brands or anything you buy, you can find like a sustainable version of it. Uh, so that's a very interesting trend that is happening. And then the top stage is, I think, I don't remember the exact term, but it is basically integrated with the company's purpose and vision. So there are a lot of companies, sometimes social enterprises, but sometimes just businesses that have um, come up. They're doing business like any other business would, but they're purpose driven. They're in the business of making the planet better, and that's what they care about. And of course, in the process, all the other things also get taken care of.
So just
And the question about the jobs, very interestingly now, companies are starting to integrate, as I said, sustainability in every department, right? So that role hopefully will gradually decentralize. And a lot of people in R&D there are also roles in R&D for people who work around sustainability or with a background in some degree of environmental science or environmental engineering.
yeah,
A lot of jobs there.
awesome. I think that's all the questions I have.
Yeah.
And do you want to say anything else? Do you think you want to give any more information about your degree, about your academic path that may be relevant?
Take all the courses you want and be as picky as you want, but if you don't work, but also work on projects and also actually do things, because that's going to help you understand what is really going to help you and what is going to be a tool, or what is your strength that's going to help you understand what is, like, how does this actually work, right? Like, okay, I've taken a dynamics of negotiations class and it's super cool. I got an A+, but can I actually negotiate when
Yeah,
I'm speaking to different partners, or let's say I have all the knowledge when it comes to this field, but can I actually sit with a bunch of people um, who disagree on something and have a conversation with them, or who disagree with me and have a conversation with them.
absolutely. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Akash, for taking the time. We are super grateful to you. We are also going to create a PDF document of whatever you have spoken of. And if anybody would like to gain access to that, you can sign up in the with the Google form. The link is in the description.